We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
And you're back on Liberty Nation Radio. I remain your host, Mark Angelides, and we're continuing our conversation with Liberty Nation's Graham J. Noble. Thanks for sticking around, Graham. Now, we talked about defensive uses of firearms and in the earlier segment, but one place where gun laws are very, very strict and likely to become more so should the lead contender win the mayoralty this coming November is New York City under Zohran Mamdani. Should he win, which all signs point to a landslide for the Ugandan-born socialist. Now, Graham, what is happening with Zohran Mamdani? Because it seems to me that New York is about to adopt quasi-socialist measures in every form that it can under his leadership. Now, I'm not one to judge, but, well, sometimes I am. I'm not one to judge, but it seems to me that socialist measures have a long history of failing time and time again.
Well, Mamdani has kind of put his party in a difficult position, really, by not intentionally, but he's done it by his mere presence on the national stage now, and that is that one thing that the left in general, not just the Democratic Party, but the left in general, one thing they've always done is they've always pretended that they don't really. Some of their more kind of radical policies, they try to play them down. I mean, they've done this with the guns. How many times have you heard left-wingers say to conservatives, oh, stop making a fuss, we're not going to take your guns? But actually, that's exactly what they want to do.
And unless you're Beto O'Rourke, the perennial losing candidate,
that's
right, we're going to take...
He was willing, and I'll give the guy credit for just that. I'll give him credit that he was honest. Yeah, absolutely. But, and they do this, and they've always done this with the socialist thing. They've always said, oh, no, we're not socialists. And
democratic socialists.
The democratic socialists, which is just a nonsense term anyway. No, we're not really socialists. But now with Mamdani and a lot of people now, a lot of the leaders of the Democratic Party have been loath to kind of really jump behind him because they know if they do, then everyone else is going to just point at them and say, there, you are endorsing a socialist.
Yeah.
And so, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, the leaders of the Democrats in Congress, they've been loath to endorse him, but other Democrats have endorsed him. And it's almost as if they're kind of, I almost hate to use the word normalizing because it's become a trendy word, but it's like they are now normalizing socialism, Although even now, I think it was just CBS or NBC recently who just maybe yesterday even somebody on one of those networks came out and said, oh, look, Zohran Mamdani is just not a socialist. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So they're caught between this thing. Do they keep denying he's a socialist, or do they actually say, or do they kind of cross the Rubicon and say, yeah, no, we're giving him our full backing, So yeah, he's a socialist. He's got our backing. We're good to go. But I think the other thing, Mark, is the Democrats might be a little loath to really throw their lot in with him completely, because I'm certain there are some of them that are realistic enough to know that if he does become mayor of New York City, which, as you said, seems likely, and if he managed to implement all the things he wants to implement, there is an extremely good chance that he is going to destroy New York City's economy. And then that's going to be like the proof in the pudding, if you like, where people can say, look what Mamdani, socialist, took over in New York City, and look what he's done to that city now.
Graham,
and everyone will be able to see it.
You know that if that happens, they'll just say, they didn't do it right, and we can do it better. Now,
that's right. Yeah, that wasn't real socialism.
That wasn't real socialism. Yes, that was something different. We'll do it better next time. So, Tim Donner, Liberty Nation's senior political analyst and longtime host of this here radio show, he did a great article on the shocking truth about Mamdani's socialist roots, and of course, Mamdani is he's not just the Democrat contender for New York Mayor, he's the Democratic Socialists of America contender for the New York City mayor. And he quotes a string of, I wouldn't even know what to call these, to be honest with you, Graham, in his article about what the Democratic Socialists of America, of which Mamdani is the flag bearer, openly flag bearer, want. And I'll just give you a couple of quotes here. So Tim Donald writes, they support performing abortions in churches. They believe prostitution and marriage are, quote, two sides of the same coin. They believe women and children are irreparably harmed by capitalism, and that, and in asserting that being in a traditional family is akin to being in prison. What do you have to say to that, Graham? Final words.
Well, I mean, it just comes down to one of the kind of underlying principles of socialism in general. Say that children and even adults, really, everybody, every citizen is essentially like the property of the government. I mean, that's really what that's really what they're getting at, is that all of the citizens, all the residents of a country like that, you are all essentially owned by the government, and particularly the children, which is exactly why they want to abolish the family unit, so that they can basically make children wards of the state.
Graham J. Noble, let freedom ring. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mark.
We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.